Life often feels heavier than it needs to be. Many of us carry invisible burdens from people, problems, and situations that we cannot control. We try to fix everything, to understand everything, and to keep everything from going wrong. We cling to relationships, obsess over outcomes, and replay past mistakes in our minds. Yet the truth is that much of this suffering does not come from what happens to us, but from our attachment to it. The more we try to control the uncontrollable, the more tension, anxiety, and frustration we create in our own minds. Learning to detach is not about giving up or turning away. It is about finding clarity, peace, and freedom while still fully engaging with life. Detachment is often misunderstood. Some believe it means becoming cold, distant, or indifferent. They imagine someone who walks through life without caring about anything or anyone. This is not detachment in the true sense. True detachment allows you to care deeply without losing your center. It allows you to act with compassion while releasing the need for specific outcomes. It teaches that life can be experienced fully without becoming emotionally trapped by what you cannot influence. Every day we encounter circumstances that remind us of our limits. People make choices that hurt or disappoint us. Problems appear that we cannot solve immediately or at all. Situations shift in ways we never expected. When we resist these realities, we suffer unnecessarily. Detachment begins with the honest acknowledgement of what is within our control and what is not. This acknowledgement is not resignation. It is clarity. It allows us to focus our energy where it matters and release the rest without guilt or shame. Detachment also creates space in our minds. When we are constantly clinging to outcomes, replaying events, or worrying about other people's behavior, we are trapped in a loop of mental noise. This noise drains our energy, clouds our judgment, and prevents us from being fully present. Learning to detach clears this mental clutter. It gives us the ability to observe life as it is, rather than as we wish it would be. In this way, detachment strengthens both emotional stability and decision making. Ultimately, detachment is a practice of freedom. It allows us to remain engaged with life, to act with love and responsibility, and to experience situations without losing ourselves in them. By detaching from what we cannot control, we stop allowing external circumstances to dictate our inner peace. Instead of being tossed by every change or challenge, we find balance, calm, and clarity. This video will explore how to detach from people, problems, and situations you cannot control. We will look at practical ways to cultivate this inner freedom so that life feels lighter, more present, and more manageable, even in the face of uncertainty. Detachment is not avoidance. It is presence. It is choice. It is the understanding that true peace comes from within, not from controlling the world outside. Understanding what detachment really means. Detachment is a concept that is often misunderstood, and many people confuse it with indifference, apathy, or emotional withdrawal. True detachment is none of these things. It does not mean that you stop caring about the people in your life, the problems you face, or the situations that surround you. Instead, it means that you engage with life fully while maintaining a sense of inner balance. Detachment allows you to care without clinging. It allows you to love without losing yourself. It allows you to act without being consumed by outcomes that are beyond your control. At its core, detachment is about clarity. It is the ability to see the difference between what is within your influence and what is not. Many people suffer because they treat uncontrollable circumstances as if they are their responsibility. They hold on to resentment, fear, or frustration when others behave unpredictably. They replay problems endlessly in their minds, trying to solve what cannot be solved. This kind of attachment drains energy and disturbs peace. Detachment does not remove responsibility, but it frees the mind from unnecessary suffering. Detachment also strengthens emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable, and the more tightly you cling to specific outcomes, the more vulnerable you become to disappointment. Detachment allows you to respond to challenges rather than react impulsively. It creates space between stimulus and response, giving you the ability to think clearly, choose wisely, and act with intention. This does not mean avoiding life's difficulties or ignoring pain. It means observing reality without letting emotions dictate actions, and addressing what you can while releasing what you cannot control. Another key aspect of detachment is self-awareness. It requires you to notice when you are overly attached to a person, a situation, or a problem. Perhaps you find yourself trying to control someone else's decisions or feeling anxious about outcomes that are outside your hands. Recognizing this attachment is the first step toward detachment. Awareness allows you to pause, breathe, and remind yourself of the limits of your influence. Over time, this practice builds a steady inner center that is less swayed by external turbulence. Detachment also cultivates inner freedom. When you are not emotionally dependent on every circumstance, you are free to live with greater peace and clarity. You begin to experience relationships without fear of rejection, challenges without panic, and life without constant worry. Detachment does not create distance in a negative sense. Instead, it creates the kind of distance that allows perspective, understanding, and compassion to grow. You remain fully present, but you are no longer a prisoner of uncontrollable events. Ultimately, understanding detachment is the foundation for emotional balance. It teaches that peace comes from within, not from controlling the outside world. By practicing detachment, you allow yourself to engage with life more fully, act with intention, and maintain calm even when circumstances shift. It is not about giving up or disconnecting. It is about choosing where to place your energy so that your mind remains clear, your heart remains open, and your life becomes lighter, more peaceful, and more resilient, accepting the limits of control. One of the most important steps in learning detachment is accepting the limits of control. Many people live their lives believing that if they try hard enough, they can manage everything around them. They try to control other people's choices, opinions, and reactions. They try to manipulate situations so that outcomes align perfectly with their expectations. They worry endlessly about problems that may never fully resolve. This desire for control often creates unnecessary stress, anxiety, and frustration. The truth is that there are always limits to what we can influence. Recognizing these limits is the first step toward inner freedom. Accepting the limits of control does not mean giving up or resigning yourself to passivity. It does not mean ignoring problems or refusing to act. Instead, it is the honest acknowledgement of what is truly within your power. You can control your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, and the choices you make. You cannot control the decisions of others, the natural course of events, or the unpredictable outcomes of complex situations. When you focus your energy on what you can influence and release the rest, life becomes lighter and less overwhelming. Many people struggle with this acceptance because it feels like weakness or defeat. Letting go of control is often mistaken for giving up. In reality, it is a demonstration of strength. It requires courage to stop trying to force outcomes that are beyond your reach. It requires self-awareness to recognize the difference between what you can change and what you cannot. And it requires trust. Trust that life will unfold as it should, that people will act according to their own path, and that you have the ability to respond wisely to whatever happens. When we resist the limits of control, our minds remain tense and restless. We replay scenarios over and over, imagine worst-case outcomes, and become trapped in mental loops that prevent us from thinking clearly or acting effectively. By accepting what cannot be controlled, we stop fighting reality. We stop wasting emotional energy on impossibilities. This acceptance does not mean we stop caring. It simply means we engage with life without being consumed by it. We act where we can, and we release what we cannot change. Acceptance also brings clarity. When you acknowledge the limits of your control, your decisions become more deliberate, focused, and effective. You stop reacting impulsively to every shift in circumstances. You begin to see patterns and opportunities that were invisible when your mind was clouded with frustration and anxiety. You begin to live with intention, rather than constantly chasing illusions of control. Ultimately, accepting the limits of control is a form of self-liberation. It allows you to experience life fully without being trapped by it. It allows you to love without clinging, act without obsession, and face challenges with calm. This acceptance is the bridge between attachment and detachment. It is the foundation for emotional balance, inner peace, and resilience. Once you truly understand and embrace what you cannot control, you can begin to navigate life with a sense of freedom and ease that was impossible when your energy was spent on trying to hold on to what was never yours to hold. Detaching from people without losing love. One of the greatest sources of emotional stress comes from our relationships with other people. Family, friends, colleagues, or even casual acquaintances can affect our mood, our thoughts, and our sense of security. When we cling too tightly to the way others behave, when we expect them to act according to our desires or timelines, we create tension for ourselves. Detaching from people does not mean stopping care or love. It means learning to allow others to be who they are, without needing them to fulfill your emotional expectations. Detachment from people begins with understanding that everyone has their own journey. Each individual acts according to their experiences, beliefs, and priorities. You cannot control how someone responds to you, what choices they make, or the paths they follow. When you accept this, you stop carrying unnecessary burdens. You stop feeling personally responsible for someone else's happiness or behavior. Detachment allows you to engage with others openly and compassionately while maintaining your own emotional stability. It is also important to recognize the difference between healthy boundaries and emotional withdrawal. Detachment is not about building walls or avoiding connection. It is about creating space that protects your peace. You can care deeply for someone without becoming emotionally dependent on them. You can love without demanding, without judging, and without being consumed by the outcome of every interaction. This form of detachment strengthens relationships because it allows both parties to exist freely, without pressure or expectation. Detaching from people also reduces conflict. Many arguments arise not from real problems, but from attachment to how others should behave. When you release the need to control, you can respond calmly rather than react impulsively. You begin to listen without judgment and speak without defensiveness. Relationships become less about ego and more about understanding. You find that connection can thrive even when people act differently than you hoped. Another benefit of detachment from people is emotional resilience. You learn to rely on your own inner stability rather than external validation. Compliments, recognition, or approval are no longer the source of your sense of self-worth. Instead, you maintain confidence in your values, choices, and character. This does not mean ignoring advice or feedback. It means observing others with awareness and choosing how much influence their opinions have over your mind. Detachment also allows space for compassion. When you are not entangled in the expectations of others, You can act from genuine care rather than obligation, fear, or guilt. Your kindness becomes a conscious choice rather than a reaction to dependency. You maintain love and empathy without sacrificing your own peace. Ultimately, detaching from people without losing love transforms relationships. You continue to engage, support, and care, but you do so freely. Your emotional energy is no longer consumed by control, fear, or expectation. You can love fully while remaining centered, present, and balanced. This is the essence of healthy detachment, and it is a practice that brings freedom, clarity, and deep inner peace, detaching from problems without escaping responsibility. Problems are an inevitable part of life. They arise in work, relationships, finances, health, and countless other areas. Many people respond to problems with stress, worry, and overthinking, often imagining worst-case scenarios or trying to control every detail. While it is natural to care about challenges, becoming overly attached to them only increases suffering. Detachment from problems is not about ignoring them or avoiding responsibility. It is about learning to address what you can while releasing the mental burden of what you cannot control. Detachment begins with perspective. Problems are often magnified in the mind. When we replay difficulties endlessly or imagine catastrophic outcomes, they grow larger than they really are. By stepping back, observing the situation objectively, and asking what is within your power to influence, you regain clarity. This allows you to act effectively rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. When energy is focused on constructive solutions rather than imagined scenarios, problems lose their ability to dominate your mind. Another important aspect of detaching from problems is recognizing limits. Not every challenge can be solved immediately or perfectly. Some issues require time, patience, or the cooperation of others. Some situations may never be fully resolved. Accepting this reality does not mean giving up. It means redirecting your focus to what is actionable and letting go of the stress tied to outcomes beyond your control. Detachment allows you to maintain responsibility without being consumed by worry or frustration. Detachment from problems also reduces emotional exhaustion. Many people feel drained because they carry problems in their minds constantly, even outside of work or active problem solving. When you detach, you create mental space. You allow yourself to rest, recharge, and think clearly. This mental clarity improves disease, ion making, and strengthens resilience. You are able to return to challenges with focus and calm, rather than approaching them from a place of anxiety or panic. Practicing detachment does not mean neglecting the consequences of your actions. It is not avoidance or irresponsibility. Instead, it is about separating your effort from the outcome. You take the steps that are within your control, make your best decisions, and then release attachment to the result. This approach reduces unnecessary stress and preserves emotional energy, while ensuring that you still act with integrity and purpose. Detachment also encourages problem solving with perspective. By observing difficulties without emotional overload, you are more likely to find creative solutions, remain patient with setbacks, and learn from mistakes. Problems are no longer seen as threats to your peace, but as opportunities to practice focus, resilience, and adaptability. Ultimately, detaching from problems allows life to move forward more gracefully. You maintain responsibility, take action where it matters, and address challenges effectively, but you no longer allow problems to control your mind or your mood. Detachment is the balance between engagement and release, action and acceptance. It is a practice that brings calm, clarity, and strength in the face of life's inevitable difficulties, detaching from situations you cannot change. Life is full of situations that we cannot alter. Unexpected events occur, circumstances shift, and outcomes often unfold in ways we do not anticipate. Some situations are permanent, others temporary, but both can create stress when we resist or obsess over them. Detachment from situations you cannot change is not about avoiding life or giving up. It is about learning to accept reality as it is, without allowing it to disturb your inner peace or dictate your emotional state. The first step toward detaching from uncontrollable situations is acceptance. Acceptance does not mean resignation or passivity. It is a conscious recognition of what is beyond your influence. It allows you to stop mentally struggling against reality. Many people spend hours replaying events, imagining alternative scenarios, or blaming themselves and others. This mental resistance amplifies suffering. When you accept a situation as it is, you release that unnecessary tension and create space to respond wisely. Detachment from situations also involves redirecting your energy. Instead of pouring emotional effort into resisting what cannot be changed, you focus on what you can influence. This might include how you respond emotionally, the way you communicate, or the steps you take to adapt. By concentrating on areas within your control, you act effectively rather than reacting impulsively or destructively. Detachment allows your actions to come from clarity rather than from fear, frustration, or panic. Another important aspect of detaching from situations is learning to observe without judgment. When events do not go as planned, we often add a layer of criticism, frustration, or self-blame. This intensifies suffering. Observing situations with awareness as they are reduces the emotional charge. You acknowledge reality without labeling it as good or bad. This perspective allows you to respond rather than react, to make thoughtful decisions rather than impulsive ones. Detachment also strengthens resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will always arise. When you learn to detach from situations beyond your control, you become less vulnerable to stress, anxiety, and disappointment. Your mind remains centered even when circumstances shift unexpectedly. You learn to move through difficulties with calm and stability, maintaining focus on what matters most. Importantly, detachment does not mean you stop caring or stop taking action. It does not mean ignoring problems or pretending that situations do not affect you. It is about letting go of the need to control outcomes, while remaining present, engaged, and responsible. You respond to life with intention and wisdom, without being consumed by what cannot be changed. Ultimately, detaching from situations you cannot change brings freedom. You stop allowing external circumstances to dominate your peace of mind. You remain grounded, adaptable, and emotionally balanced, regardless of what life throws at you. This form of detachment is a skill that grows with practice, observation, and patience. It allows you to navigate the unpredictability of life with grace, clarity, and resilience, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth rather than sources of suffering. Practices that build detachment over time. Detachment is not a skill that happens overnight. It is a practice that develops gradually through awareness, intention, and consistent effort. Like any skill, it requires patience and repetition. Over time, the practice of detachment strengthens your ability to remain calm, clear, and centered in the face of life's uncertainties. There are several practices that help cultivate this inner freedom, and incorporating them into daily life can transform the way you relate to people, problems, and situations. One of the most important practices is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability to observe your thoughts and emotions without immediately reacting to them. When a difficult situation arises or when someone behaves in a way that triggers frustration, mindfulness allows you to pause. Instead of being swept away by emotions, you notice them, acknowledge them, and choose how to respond. This pause creates space for rational thinking, emotional balance, and thoughtful action rather than impulsive reaction. Another powerful practice is reflection. Reflection allows you to step back and assess your attachments. Ask yourself which thoughts and emotions are serving your well-being and which are keeping you trapped. Reflection helps you recognize patterns of attachment that create unnecessary suffering. By identifying these patterns, you can begin to release them gradually. This process is not about forcing detachment, but about gently guiding your mind toward clarity and balance. Setting healthy boundaries is also essential. Boundaries protect your energy and prevent you from becoming overwhelmed by people, problems, or situations. By clearly defining what you are willing to engage with and what you need to step away from, you maintain a sense of autonomy and peace. Boundaries do not mean cutting people off or avoiding responsibilities. They mean choosing where to invest your time, attention, and emotional energy wisely. Practicing acceptance is another key tool in cultivating detachment. Life is unpredictable and situations will arise that you cannot change. Acceptance does not mean passivity or indifference. It means acknowledging reality as it is, without adding unnecessary judgment, resistance, or anxiety. Accepting what cannot be controlled allows your energy to flow toward what you can influence, making your actions more effective and your mind more peaceful. Finally, regular self-care and reflection strengthen detachment. Meditation, journaling, deep breathing, and spending quiet time alone help you reconnect with your inner center. These practices remind you that your peace does not depend on external circumstances. They reinforce the understanding that your mind and emotions are under your guidance, not dictated by the actions of others or the unfolding of events. Over time, these practices create a natural sense of detachment. You learn to engage with life fully while maintaining inner balance. You respond to challenges with clarity and calm. You maintain relationships with love and compassion without clinging or losing yourself. You approach problems with responsibility without letting them dominate your thoughts. And you face situations you cannot change with acceptance and composure. Detachment is not avoidance. It is not distance. It is the cultivation of inner freedom, balance, and resilience. By practicing mindfulness, reflection, boundaries, acceptance, and self-care, you gradually create a mental and emotional space where life can be experienced fully without unnecessary suffering. Over time, this space becomes a source of strength, clarity, and lasting peace. Detachment is one of the most powerful tools for creating peace, clarity, and resilience in life. It allows you to live fully without being consumed by what you cannot control. While the practice of detachment may seem difficult at first, it is not about withdrawing from life or losing care and compassion. It is about learning to engage with the world while keeping your inner center intact. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering and begin to experience life in a deeper, more balanced way. One of the key lessons of detachment is that peace comes from within. Too often, people look for happiness or security. Thank you outside themselves. They believe that if circumstances align perfectly, people behave as they wish, and problems disappear, then they will finally feel calm. In reality, this external focus only increases anxiety. True freedom comes from learning to separate your inner state from the uncontrollable nature of the world. By practicing detachment, you realize that while you cannot control everything, you can control how you respond, how you think, and how you maintain your own peace. Detachment also fosters emotional balance. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. By cultivating detachment, you learn to respond rather than react. You face difficulties with clarity instead of panic. You observe situations objectively instead of being swept away by frustration, fear, or resentment. This emotional balance allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with resilience and grace. Problems, people, and situations no longer have the power to dominate your mind. Another essential benefit of detachment is improved relationships. When you Detach from the need to control others or to have your expectations met. Your interactions become more compassionate and authentic. You allow people to be themselves and you engage with them freely. Detachment does not create distance in a negative sense, it creates healthy space. It allows love and care to flow naturally without being entangled in anxiety, fear, or attachment. Relationships become less stressful, more fulfilling, and more genuine. Detachment also encourages a sense of perspective. Life is full of events that may feel urgent, overwhelming, or personal, but detachment helps you see them in context. You recognize that challenges are temporary, that people act according to their own nature, and that situations shift in ways beyond your control. This perspective reduces mental clutter, prevents overthinking, and allows you to focus your energy on what truly matters. Finally, detachment leads to freedom. It is a freedom not from responsibility but from emotional captivity. It is a freedom to live with intention, to act wisely, to maintain inner calm, and to face life on your terms. Detachment allows you to be fully present while remaining emotionally unshaken. It transforms life from a series of battles into a field of mindful engagement, where you can respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. In conclusion, learning to detach from people, problems, and situations you cannot control is a practice of liberation. It is a skill that grows with mindfulness, reflection, acceptance, and patience. Detachment does not mean avoiding life or becoming cold. It means living fully while keeping your inner peace intact. By practicing detachment, you create space for clarity, compassion, and resilience, allowing life to be experienced with balance, freedom, and lasting calm.